everyone. Welcome to this short and sharp session around defining your ideal channel partner profile, or some other businesses would call it your ideal distributor profile. I believe, and we believe at Exportia, that small and medium-sized businesses, when they enter the European market, have a lot of advantages and a lot of opportunities when they work with European distributors. It will just accelerate the growth. It will give you a broader footprint. It's just a smarter move. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you today, what we're going to do together is we are going to define the ideal channel partner profile with you. I'll show you our template. It's available along with that video if you received an email. Otherwise, it's on our website, on the Exportia website. You can absolutely download it for free. So here is your ideal distributor channel partner profile. So if you are already dealing with, in your domestic market, if you're already dealing with distributors or channel partners, if you're in software or in the tech industry, just have a think and picture your best partners, the one that really drive business for you, the one that are really helpful, the one that generate revenue for you, basically, and have a think of what they look like. So the first thing that template will take you through a few questions, a few points that are very useful for you to have in mind when you go to Europe then. So first of all, do your successful distributors usually have a regional coverage? They're small, agile players. Are they more national, or are they more international, multinational players? So what's their size in terms of revenue? It's kind of a different way to ask the question, really, but it just gives you and gives us as a sales team, as an outsourced sales team for our customers, it gives us a very clear picture of the type of distributors we need to look for you in Europe. What we look at as well is what client profile should they actually focus on. So what's really important is you really want to partner with a distributor that is selling to your ideal customer profile. I have another video on that. I don't know if you've watched it. Watch it. I recommend you do so. So when you work with your distributors in your domestic market, they certainly are serving and servicing and selling to your ideal customer profile. And that's probably why they are your best distributors and why they perform well. So what do these end users, customers look like? What's their profile? Which industry are they in? Are they large multinationals? What are their activities? So put it in there as well. Then in terms of your distributor commercialization channel, how do they commercialize? Do they have an extensive sales force? Are they very good online? Do they have an amazing e-commerce platform? Do they use the traditional catalogs, even if they're electronic? Do they have a tender team? It's very common as well for a certain type of profile that a distributor could have a dedicated team that just responds to tenders constantly. So have a think about how they commercialize and what their channels. What's their sales force size? Typically, how many reps do they have? What's really, really important as well, I always love to ask that question, is what's the profile of their sales reps? And do they have any specific technical of industry skills. It's very common, for example, that in the medical sector, if you take that for medical devices, that distributors, sales reps that have a nursing background or that have some paramedic background, for example, are often very good salespeople because they know exactly that sector. You could have the case of a very technical product that a distributor is selling, and therefore they may have hired a few engineers for that as well. Or you just have need to have a sales team that have a very good corporate profile, that are used to deal with large accounts, with key accounts, and that are able to deal at a national level, at a corporate level. So really have a think about your current distributors and their sales team. What the champions that sell your product the best, what do they look like? What's their characteristics? Why are they so successful? And what their skills? What is their skill set? So that's quite important, I find, when trying to find the right European distributors for our customers. We like to know this information. It's a good way for us to go about the selection after that. The other thing we like to consider is the breadth of offering. So if you look at different sectors and you type, I'll give you an example. We sell product to a lot of European multinationals, like big companies. And those companies, typically, they would not want to buy every single tiny product that they use in their factory or in their manufacturing process. They would not want to buy to every supplier, and that's just not profitable for them. So what they do instead is they will actually look at a distributor that has a large breadth of offering, and they would like to buy everything in that product category from them, because that saves them time. They just can swap one product for another. So that's why when you picture and when you describe your European distributor or your ideal channel partner, you need to have a think of what kind of breadth of products do they need to have in their portfolio for you to be able to get in those large accounts. So that's, for example, one of the reasons we ask that question, and it's an important one for you to have in mind. We also like to know what type of after-sales technical support do they need to provide on your behalf? Do they need, in IT, it would be very common that a channel partner would provide first-line support. So that's something that we need to know, because then we can really, really identify the right channel partner. Do they need to provide any consulting service or capability, any training capability, any service additional with your product? It can be quite motivating for a distributor to provide sell a service along with the sale of your product. So we need to know that too, and need to know if they need to have this capability. What competitors' product should they sell or not sell? Maybe you want a distributor that is selling your competitor's product. Maybe you don't want them to sell your competitor's product. Both ways work, to be honest. It really depends on the context. That's a great thing for us to know. And you need to name those competitors' brand, because then we can really easily go into the different European countries and find those distributors that are distributing those brands for you. Complementary product. So typically you will find that if you look at your distribution in your domestic market, they sell your product and they sell another product in the same family, typically, that you don't manufacture. It's not competing, but it's quite complementary to what you do. And so as well, what are the names? What are the product names that are complementary to your products? What's really important here, and I'm saying it here, it needs to have a good alignment with your brand positioning. I'm saying that because you don't want, if you are a premium product, and most of our customers are, they have a premium, highly innovative and high quality product. So you don't want a distributor that is selling cheap things, because they won't have the ability to sell a high expensive product. It takes some skill set. Sales rep at the distributor level get scared if they're not used to sell expensive product. They will be scared to sell an expensive product. So you need to make sure you have a distributor in Europe that knows how to sell premium branded product. The way you find them is that you look at the complementary brand they're selling, and you see and you detect if that aligns with your own brand positioning. So that's very important. And then what we ask you is, give us some examples of some of your successful distributors, the one that have worked best for you, and what product do you sell to them? So once we have that, it gives us, and you may have several, you may have, profile 1, profile 2, you may have several profiles. Try not to have not too many, because they may not all be successful unless you're an extremely experienced business and you already have an extremely sophisticated distribution channels, which could be the case. But if you're entering the European market and you are a high growth business, you would probably have only 1 or 2 profiles of distributors, maybe 3, not more usually. For the IT people in the Zoom room, note that in there you can have also consulting companies as your indirect distributor. They will recommend your product. So we treat them as kind of a channel as well. They can be your alliance partners. So put them in there and define them as a potential partner, channel partner. I hope you found it useful. Here is the template. If you have any questions, let's have a chat about the European market and European channels in Europe. The team at Exportia and myself have a lot of experience around marketing distribution in Europe, and we look forward to helping you. Have fun. See you soon.